Everyone, welcome to the show. Please like today's episode, guys. Give the show a thumbs up. There's big, huge news on Dean Ambrose being the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. He is getting ton of backstage criticism for him being the champion. Now, Dean Ambrose has been WWE Champion for less than a month, but the length of his run is already being questioned, and the criticisms under which he won the title has been put under the microscope. It hasn't been the easiest transition backstage, despite Raw earning its highest rating in months the night after Ambrose captured the WWE Championship for the first time in his career. Now, like at Money in the Bank, when he became the Money in the Bank and he won the briefcase, he wasn't ready for that, in my opinion. Dean Ambrose was not ready to be the new World Heavyweight Champion, being that top guy, number one guy in the company as the top star. Okay, the way he's been booked like crap. He hasn't been doing good. He's been losing matches, which I know a lot of people say winning matches and losing matches don't mean nothing. You know, and I respect your opinion out there, but I strongly disagree with that, okay? The way that Dean Ambrose has been booked and the way he's been pushed, he didn't deserve to be that World Heavyweight Champion. He didn't deserve that belt, okay? Now, I will say this. As long as Reigns is not WWE Champion, I'm okay with that. Because I don't want Roman Reigns to become and retain his WWE title because he sucks. Now, rating and merchandise sales have long been two of the key determining factors in making a champion. Okay. Fans heard part of the reason for taking the title off Reigns and going with Ambrose because Reigns' live event attendance numbers were comparable to Ambrose's, despite, and the latter headlining what was considered the B show in generally smaller markets. No. The reason why, that's not the real reason. The reason why, I disagree with that. The reason why they took that title off Roman Reigns because he failed the drug test. He failed the drug test because Roman Reigns did acid. And that's why they took the title off Roman Reigns, put it on Seth Rollins, and then Dean Ambrose cashed in and became the new champion. If Roman Reigns did pass the drug test and did not fail it, there's no way that Seth Rollins would have won the title. There's no way Dean Ambrose would have cashed in his briefcase and became the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank was walking out still and retained the title. Okay. Now, generally small mark, Reigns failed the drug test and substance submission played a major part in the championship, which I just talked about that he failed the drug test. But in the light of today's news, it's interesting that WWE officials didn't go back to Seth Rollins as their top champion. I wanted Seth Rollins to win it, okay? He did win it. Dean Ambrose just came, with a title. I just strongly disagree with him winning it. Seth Rollins really should have been the new world, should have retained the title, but Dean Ambrose came out, so technically Rollins lost his title. Now, according to Daily Wrestling News, there's been a ton of backstage heat on Dean Ambrose. So he's getting a lot of heat for what he did now. Going as far back as a couple months, and yet he still stands before the WWE Universe as the dude, and more importantly, the WWE Champion. Remember, with the upcoming brand split, we all know the brand split is coming up soon, to create another top champion in our motion, thus dropping the previous WWE World Heavyweight Champion distinction and simply going with the WWE Champion. Now, Ambrose portrays a carefree, nonchalant lunatic on camera, and that rotation with the fan base much more than the previous champion, Roman Reigns. Because Roman Reigns sucks, he gets booed, people don't like him, WWE keeps shoving him down our throats, and that's why we crap on Roman Reigns, because he's not the top guy, he is not the guy for the company. I don't care what he says. He is not the guy for the company. He can't wrestle. He can't perform. People say he can wrestle. Yeah, I strongly disagree with that because the guy can't wrestle. The guy can't perform at all. Dean Ambrose can perform better, and he can wrestle better, and he's entertaining better than what Roman Reigns is. Roman Reigns is not the it factor of that company. Okay? Roman Reigns is going downhill now. I don't see him being that main event star now. After what he did... Okay. But apparently the attitude and demeanor carries over backstage when Ambrose is no longer in front of the bright lights. This is especially event after his matches, as people in the back claim he doesn't look so hot. No WWE superstar will look his best fresh off a wrestling match, but Ambrose's case, it has become a concern to some degree. The heat Ambrose has on him at present might give further content to the McGregor report 2 weeks ago. Just 4 days into his reign, that has a time as WWE champion might no longer than Battleground last longer. So yeah, you know, I've been saying this, when Ambrose won that title, he's gonna have a short run with it. You know, Ambrose is not going to have it for a long time because Mankind, when he had the WWF title, that he didn't have it that long. He had a short reign for that belt. And Ambrose is going through the same thing. He's getting that Mick Foley push. Okay? He's going to have a short run with the title. And then, you know, in my opinion, Rollins will probably get it back at Battleground. Reigns ain't getting it back because he sucks as a champion. And he's not the guy. And I have a feeling that Rollins will get it back at Battleground. Which the whole triple threat match makes no sense because Reigns is there. Reigns ain't there to build this huge dream match that people have been talking about for so many years, ever since the Shield has been together for a long time, until they broke up, you know. Alright, wellness. Criticism surrounding Ambrose. And Roman Reigns is in the doghouse for his wellness policy violation. Seth Rollins' chances of recapturing what he never truly lost increasing by the hour. As noted, Ambrose's heat backstage back months ago, his feud with Brock Lesnar, which was stupid because there was no feud between those two. Their match at WrestleMania made no sense. They didn't use any weapons in that match. Which, why would you not use any weapons in that match when, you know, it's a street fight, you know, or whatever it was called. And they didn't use any weapons, okay? He didn't do nothing. The Wyatt family was feuding with Brock Lesnar, not Dean Ambrose. So, technically that Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose match made no sense because Dean Ambrose didn't do nothing to Brock Lesnar. The Wyatt family attacked Brock Lesnar. That match should have happened. Bray versus Brock. That's the match that should have happened because they were attacking Brock Lesnar. Okay. Planned on at an unspring and lackluster for various reasons. Perhaps Brock was distracted because he wasn't involved at a more unique matchup. To Ambrose's credit, the Lunatic Fringe requested a more lunacy to his showdown at WrestleMania, asking for more weapons because at a more high risk spot. But was turned down though. They turned it down. Why? Okay. It's a street fight. You got to use as many weapons as you want, okay? That's what street fights are about, okay? Whatever the match was, weapons, you got to use a lot of weapons, a lot of weapon spots, and they turned it down, which, you know what? I'm kind of pissed off about that. Why would you turn it down for it? As a result, a disappointing match ended in a predictable fashion before Brock took him off his hands into pieces. Now, apparently, things did not get any better for Dean, who still managed to get booked into a high-profile program, this time with Chris Jericho. I didn't like this match. Chris Jericho was a jobber. I didn't care for this match. I knew Chris Jericho was going to beat Dean Ambrose. There was no way that, you know, Dean Ambrose was going to beat Chris Jericho. But he did. You know, I was surprised when he beat Chris Jericho. I thought WWE was not going to let him beat him. Like, they're not going to let, you know, they're going to ruin Dean Ambrose, you know. They're going to let Chris Jericho beat him, and he actually beat Dean Ambrose, you know. Dean Ambrose actually beat Chris Jericho. I thought they weren't going to let him beat Chris Jericho, but they did. Okay, Craig. the two engaged in single matches at Payback and Extreme Rules, which I didn't want to see it twice. You know, once is enough. You know, this is a problem with WWE when they keep doing matches once and twice, and then, you know, it gets boring after a while. I saw it the first time, and I didn't want to see it a second time. The feud carried over the Ambrose Asylum match. That's where he won. He won it when he beat Chris Jericho at the Asylum match, which the match was good. Then when both participants were Money in the Bank ladder match, of course, Ambrose went on to win before cashing in the contract that night. The program with Chris Jericho also received a lot of criticism from backstage officials with reports of negative reaction to the Asylum match surfing immediately. Yeah, the match really, to be honest with you, that match really wasn't that good in my opinion. And it is strange that Dean Ambrose is the current WWE champion despite not being the company's favorite son at the present time. So ladies and gentlemen, you let me know your comments below about this whole situation. I definitely want your opinions, guys. Until then, I'll see you on the next show. Subscribe.